Good morning. Here I am going for a nice little walk here in the upper Bidwell. I like it here. I'm walking over this rocky path. And I would like to address a particular topic this morning. And I'm sort of taking my time to ease into it, to see how I want to approach it, because it is a real issue that every human being deals with. Every human being has problems with. Every human being experiences the fallout from the fact that we are not dealing with this issue. And of course I could say, and I will, that it has to do with how we talk, but I want to address it a little differently, because today on this video I'm walking on this rocky terrain. I want to let you know that people just do not know, they really do not know how to be open to each other. And I would say being open to each other, of course, has to do with how you deal with yourself. And you could say, when you're not open to experience what you feel, how is it possible then for you to be open to others? But this openness to yourself is also misunderstood. So it's not only openness to others, which is a problem, but it is openness to ourselves. And what is this openness to ourselves? It's a big problem that people cannot be themselves. It's weird how that is, and how that problem translates into all sorts of other problems. So the openness a person feels when he or she is really open with himself, with herself, it has to do with the fact that all the attention that you have, all the attention goes to who you are, goes to yourself, stays with you. Of course, that is accomplished by the way in which you deal with language. But as I have said, I'm not gonna make much of a big deal out of that, because I have talked about that already so many times. I just want to let you know on this video that your energy keeps moving away from who you are, and you cannot have that energy available for who you are. And so it is really an energy phenomenon that you cannot be yourself. You are overtaken by all sorts of things. You are affected by all sorts of things. And then, yeah, you're dealing with that, you're reacting to that. And you're no longer yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So when you listen to me, obviously you hear me have embodied language. But what it means is that all my attention goes to me. Yeah. And I should say also, and you know that, or you should know that, if you've heard any of my videos, you should know that in disembodied language, everybody's trying to attract your attention with whatever it is that they are experiencing, good as well as bad. And so, even when a person demands your attention with good things, they are still demanding your attention. Yeah. And yeah, I want you to recognize that I don't demand your attention. If you consider me as someone who demands your attention, then you just failed yourself, because you could have turned me off, and I am not demanding your attention. I don't need your attention. I have my own attention, and I'm perfectly fine walking here by myself. I'm perfectly happy where I am on this beautiful path here in Upper Bidwell. I don't need you. I am not longing for you. No. My attention goes to this video on which I only point out that your attention always goes to someone else, maybe in this case to me. But I'm not needing your attention. And if there's any good coming from this video, it should be that your attention is not going to yourself. Yeah. I have no business demanding, attracting, holding your attention. I have no business even telling you how it is. I tell myself how it is. And you tell yourself how it is. And I'm having a good time here by myself. And if you were open to me, we would be having a good time together. Yeah. I'm open to you, but you are not open to me. And so you're not open to yourself. Your energy is all over the place. And yeah, that is a big conflict for you to deal with. A conflict which I do not have, because my energy is here. It's a nice morning. It's not not cold. The sun is already up. And I have already been to the gym. I have already been playing basketball. And now I'm on this path. There's a jogger coming. Let me get out of the way. Oh. Yeah, pretty soon I will be jogging here myself again. I haven't been doing that for a while, but I'm going to. I feel stimulated seeing someone jogging like that. It's wonderful to jog on a hill like this. So, being open, what is that? Being open also to experience not just yourself, but your surroundings. Being open to everything you are able to experience. Being open to everything that is in your attention. Yeah. And recognizing that you are all of that. Yeah, because you are the one who's seeing it. You are the one who is feeling it. You are the one who is, experiencing it. You are the one who is walking here in this place. And you're the one who is open to all of this. Yeah. Yeah. Can you give yourself permission to be open? Not to anything in particular, but to everything. And yes, it has to do with saying yes. Yeah. Saying yes to what happens, saying yes to what you experience, saying yes to who you are, saying yes to everything. And acknowledging that it is really true. You are feeling the way you feel, and you are experiencing what you experience. Yeah, and it may not be nice, it may not be pleasant, it may not be what you want, it may be dissatisfaction, it may be sadness, loss, confusion, but you are open. And yeah, if you have embodied language, you would say it. You would say it. You could say it in your own way, with the words that you have, with the way you talk. Just admit it. Admit it also that you perhaps don't want to admit it. Oh, maybe you don't want to admit it. All right, well then you admit that. Yeah. Gotta start where you are. Yeah. You're being defiant. being defensive. You believe that you can lie your way through your life, because that's what you do. Yeah, when you're not open, you're lying about everything. And you're not lying just about something. No, you're lying about everything. But when you're open, you can't lie about anything. When you're open, yeah. The floodgates of your emotion are opening, and maybe you become angry, maybe you become very sad, maybe you become very disappointed. That can happen. But maybe also you become all of a sudden very strong. Maybe you become very clear. Maybe you become calm. You're open. And you're not just open for a second, for a minute. No, you keep opening. So once you start to open up, yeah, things are revealed. And yeah, as I've said, I can go into this, how it has to do with listening to yourself while you speak and all that. And that this embodied language, all that. Okay. No, you're open. You're open. You can no longer hold it back. Yeah? And you can no longer defend. You can no longer lie. You can no longer get angry. You can no longer accuse others. You can no longer blame yourself. Yeah, because you're blaming yourself. You're hard on yourself. You're never any good. Yeah. You're always doing everything wrong. It's always something, always find fault with yourself. No, you're open. And yeah, you are complete. You are complete because, yeah, you are who you are. You really are who you are. That's another magnificent experience, that you feel like, oh, I really am who I am, included all my problems, included all my failures, included all my pretensions and all my deceitful behavior. Yeah, because you have a lot of deceitful behavior, which you haven't figured out yet. But hey, at this point, because you're open to it, you can say, okay, I know. I haven't completely said it. I haven't completely, revealed it, but I know I'm full of shit. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that I'm blaming myself. No, it's just a fact. It's just a fact. It's not having it because blaming yourself. Oh, now you're feeling pity for yourself or something, because that's the next step, right? Oh, you blame yourself and now you feel pity. No, you're not doing that. You're open to yourself. So when you're open to yourself, you don't blame. You don't feel pity. And of course, if you happen to be going through this ridiculous process of mistaking being open to yourself with blaming yourself. Yeah. If you happen to go through this incredibly sad, confusing syndrome, many people have this. They believe that being open to themselves is being hard on themselves and blaming themselves, pushing themselves harder, trying harder, making it work, and forcing yourself to do what you didn't do before. Because you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. And so you force yourself. Well, you're not being open to yourself. And at a certain moment you cannot keep it up because it's not who you are, right? Forcing yourself is not who you are. No. So, okay. So when you stop forcing yourself, you cannot go on like that, right? You just, at some point, the bottom falls out. You cannot keep up your pretension, your fight, your argument, your struggle. And then you're sort of just cracking up. You're falling apart. Oh, now you feel sorry about yourself. And then it seems as now you're being really open to yourself. Now you unburden yourself. You let it all out. Oh. And are you being open to yourself? Well, when you're done with it, you find out that you weren't. Because when you're done with it, you realize like, oh my God, this is a pattern which repeats itself endlessly. Yes. People go through patterns which they repeat. And you're not the only one. No, everyone does that. And so being open is not having a pattern. Being free from your pattern, being free from your conditioning, being free from the repetition of who you believe to be. So, and then of course, all kinds of new things occur. And these new things, they don't last very long. Because sooner or later, you put a stop again to these new things. Probably sooner than later. Because you are who you are, right? And you are always who you are, supposedly. But when you're open, you change. And you are something different. Not just sometimes. No, you're something different again and again. I would say, okay, so so you keep on changing, you keep on renewing, and that cannot be, That cannot be, because no, you cannot remain open. No, you can only be open for a little bit. So now it is enough, And that's what you do. And a little bit open and then close again. Okay. Well, you're not open. And it doesn't matter that you were open or that you had an experience of feeling being open. It doesn't matter. You're closed already. So unless, and I can't help but bring it in, because it is, of course, of major importance that you would only be open with embodied language. Yeah, you would only be open if you talk about what's happening with yourself in the way I am doing right now. But that's not the issue at this moment. The issue is whether you are open or not. Yeah. And you couldn't be having embodied language if you're not open. Yeah. So that openness, to experiencing, and people have called this awareness, people have called this consciousness or whatever. Yeah, you can call it attention. Well, today I call it openness. And today I call it the openness that you never have, that you never acquire, that you never continue with, even though you might for a moment briefly have a moment of openness, but no, it never lasts. And it never lasts for longer than 2 seconds. Yeah. So you don't have the means to continue with it. You do not know how to continue with it. That's why you're not open. And if you were to notice, oh my gosh, I'm closed again, I'm excluding something, because that's what you do. You are always excluding something. And when you open, everything is included. You include. So openness is inclusive. But and you're closed, you exclude. And you are doing everything you can to keep it out, to not acknowledge that this is what's going on. This is what you feel. This is what you experience. This is what you're going through. And it's not anything new. No, this is what you go through all the time. This is what you repeat endlessly. Yeah. So, yeah. So openness is what makes it possible for you to sort of say like, wow, I am so much more than what I believe to be. Because if you can be a bit more open, you open the door, you open the drawer, you open the window. No, you don't open your mind, okay? No. There's no such thing as an open mind. It's just such a fallacy, stupid fallacy, the open mind. There's no mind to begin with, let alone an open mind. No, if we're going to have conversation about this, if you're open to me, if you're listening to what I'm saying, then you cannot help but already conclude that of course it has to do with language. And then of course language is not some inner phenomenon. No, language is expressed. Language is overt. You can hear it. You can read it. Language is not an inner phenomenon. There's no mind. There's no thought. There's no inner speech. That's all just nonsense. So an open mind has nothing to do with this. You could, when I was back in the Netherlands, I had discovered that I had discovered the difference between listening to myself while I speak, and I called it the language that creates space. I called it, listening to yourself while you speak. And of course, it's totally different than not listening to yourself while you speak. It's you cannot refute it. You cannot refute it. It's irrefutable that is true. Any person who listens to him or herself while he or she speaks is having a different experience of himself and of the world, of others, than a person who is not. And so I discovered that, and I began to give all of these seminars and workshops and sessions, and because I wanted to change the world, right? And I had a company. It was not much of a company. It was just a one-man company, seminar leader. Yeah, that's before I before I had the ambition to become. At least I believed I was going to become a psychologist, but I was also told by somebody who said, "Oh, you could be a psychologist," and I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, you could be a psychologist. You're perfect for that." And I had never even acknowledged for myself. I'd never been open to the idea that a person like me could achieve such a thing, because I was just at the beginning of my education here, taking some college classes at Chabot Community College, and taking some remedial classes also for algebra, and all of a sudden also succeeding, surprisingly. And with these remedial learning classes where I got some extra support, I suddenly realized, like, wow, I can actually learn. So I'd never been open to the fact that I was able to learn until the fact that I went to America and that I went back to school, went back to college and got my college education. And lo and behold, then there's one professor, he says, you could be a psychologist. Yeah, of course. You just got to keep going. And that's what I did. But luckily, I didn't become a psychologist. Anyways, when I was in the Netherlands, and after I'd given all these sessions and all these seminars, I had created my own company, and it was called Open Communication. Open Communication, yes. And that was a really wonderful time. You know, I gave many seminars for all kind of you could say highly important people, and they took my course, and they were all intrigued and fascinated by the simple fact that someone as illiterate as I was, because at that time I was still, you could say, fairly uneducated as compared to where I'm today, that someone could just tell them something so simple as to listen to themselves, and I coached them into how to do that, that they could just experience a completely different aspect of who they were, who they have always been. And they were grateful. They were taking my seminars, and I'm not saying that, you know, that everybody wanted me or so. I had to really actively lobby and promote myself, something which I really hated, because it is going against what I stand for, right? I mean, this is not something you can sell. This is not a product. This is just authentic human interaction if you're open. And so, yeah, you can call it whatever it is. You can coin it open communication. You can coin it embodied language. But it's just a matter of being open, yeah? And yeah, I don't mind. I don't have a mind, but I don't care what people call it, as long as I can feel, as long as I can say, and as long as you can say that you are open, yeah? But yeah, if I don't feel it, I don't feel it. I'm not gonna sit here or pretend as if you're open when it's not, you know. And so yeah, this is what it is, you know, openness. And hello, hey, here goes a couple of mountain bikers. They also go to Upper Bidwell with their mountain bikes. So yeah, being open. And I was open to, in the past, open to wherever this was bringing me. Good morning. Hello. Hey. And I don't regret. Hello. Hi. I don't regret my openness, even though I would say it has also caused me to go through all sorts of experiences which made it possible for me to continue with my embodied language. And that is what I wanted. That is what that's also what I predicted. Yeah, I mean, it's not just that I wanted it, I predicted it. I became so scientific about it that I began predicting and verifying, measuring. Yeah, it's all about outcomes. Yes, about consequences. Do we see an increase or a decrease of openness? Yeah. And a relative openness, as I've said, it means nothing to me because I don't care about that. I mean, all the flowers in the field, they're always open. Yeah. And the sky is always open. See? And so openness, to me, is the very nature itself. Nature is open. Yeah. And but when you keep on threatening each other, when you keep on harassing each other and yanking each other around, demanding all sorts of things, intimidating and posturing, threatening, okay. What's left of being open? Where are these people who are open? Are these people open who say that they will protect you? No. They are not. I will not protect anybody. Yeah, I mean, of course I will, if push comes to shove, defend myself, and I will defend my wife. I'll defend what I have. Yeah. I mean, of course. And but preferably I'll stay away. Preferably I'll move away. Preferably I don't get involved. Preferably I just let people take care of themselves. I'm not responsible for other people. Yeah. People are responsible for themselves. They need to do what they need to do to remain open. Yeah. And so I cannot make anybody open, and although of course I have had those assumptions, I have had those beliefs and these motivations that I felt like, I could make a difference. I no longer have that. That's gone. And so my own ambition has disappeared. My own beliefs have disappeared. And everything that I've said about myself has disappeared. Yeah, because that is what happens when you are open. You just keep on renewing. So what can I say? Yeah. That's and that's how I live. And sometimes there's difficulties because of this. inevitable difficulties which have occurred and which might occur still sometime in the future. But from everything that I have experienced, everything that I have gone through, and I'm now 66 years old, and it is 2025, and I've made the marvelous New Year's resolution not to have any kind of direct conversation about this with anybody anymore in the year 2025. That is just such a perfect conclusion for me. So it's not so much a resolution, it is a New Year's conclusion. It is a cumulative effect of what went before. Inevitable. And who knows, perhaps I will never talk with anybody about what it is like to have embodied language anymore, except for here on this video. Because you know what? I have no urge to engage with you if you're not open, or if you're one moment open and the next moment you're not. Go to hell with your pretension. I don't want it. I don't accept it. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. So this is how I live. I have my preferences, and it has taken me a long time to be open to who I am and to get to the requirements that I have for others, rather than always being the one who fulfills the requirements of others. No, we're done with that. So I don't see how my prediction is going to come out any other way than what I say right now. And when I say prediction, I'm not saying belief, okay? A prediction is not the same as a belief. If I make a prediction like this, I am really using all of my past experience to sort of say, like, well, everything that has went on before has increased my embodied language. So there's really no reason to believe. There's no reason to assume or to that it will be any other way. And a strange thing is, when I started out with this, being open to myself, when I started out with this, because I began to listen to myself, as I said, and teach open communication. But when I started out with this, it seemed like, oh my gosh, it is so hard to be open. And that is no longer the case. It is the easiest thing to be open. It is actually difficult for me to be closed. And, or difficult, it is, I would almost say it is impossible. So, So my prediction is grounded in reality, and my prediction about openness, my prediction about, look, I have had my beliefs, of course, also. I've had my assumptions, which turned out to be not true. And also my beliefs that, embodied language is going to spread and people were going to come and recognize me and want to have embodied language with me. That all did not happen. And so, so that has disappeared. That belief or that conviction has gone. And I don't mind admitting that. I have no problem acknowledging that I was wrong, or that I've spent years saying that, and yet I can no longer say that. And yet I still maintain, based on my own experience, based on what I have gone through myself, that everyone who who is open, yeah, they will come to their own embodied language sooner or later. Yeah, you gotta include your language. Openness, what is openness if it doesn't include your language? Yeah, you can be open to beautiful movements. Oh yeah, people dance. Beautiful sound, people singing, music. Yeah, that's wonderful, but no language, your own language. Yeah, that's a different kind of openness. That's verbal openness, I would say. Yeah. And so, yeah, you know, that word verbal or verbal behavior was a big thing when I began to become familiar with behaviorism. And because Skinner wrote a whole book on that, verbal behavior, which he considered his most important book. And it is not for no reason that someone like Skinner considered it that way. I've read that book, or I tried to read it. I've read it, and I believe I understood where that book is important, because, yeah, we're talking about operant behavior, and we're talking about behavior being reinforced by postcedent stimuli, yeah, stimuli which occur after the response. And so it is the reinforcement of that behavior which increases that behavior under similar circumstances in the future. And so, yeah, those kind of things, those are scientific accounts of behavior. And so verbal behavior, yeah, I called it before, I called I called my open communication, I called it sound verbal behavior. And I wanted to also be aligned with behaviorists on this matter, but no, they were not open to, they were not open to sound verbal behavior, or let's say for the most part, they were absolutely not open to it. And so, yeah, that led me to be open to something else. And lo and behold, it made me discover, this is a very interesting transition also that has also occurred. Yeah, because I became frustrated, of course, with these behaviorists who were not open to me, or who were only a little bit open to me, not in the way I'm open to myself. And so, to me, you know, I could no longer continue with that. And then I discovered a small subset of behaviorists, initially I discovered the behaviorists that was a sort of a subset that they're called constructional theorists. Yeah, that was a particular school of behaviorism. They were looking mostly at enhancing adaptive behavior and strengthening behavior that works. So you could say a strength-based approach. And also it had to do with they call that the constructional approach, yeah. And I believe, in any case, that I dealt with that for a little while. I learned from that. That was interesting, because there were a couple of people who I at that time really liked to read and to study. But since I didn't get any connection with anybody to talk with them, I went on again, and then I got into behaviorology. Behaviorology, yes. Behaviorology is also a form of behaviorism. And that is when I ended up studying the work of Mr. Fraley, and primarily Fraley actually, and that was really kind of like the end of my, you could say, discovery of scientific literature, because that booklet that was written by Fraley, that really, for me, brought it all home. There's a little booklet which is called Science, Life and Reality, that I've read, that I've studied. And yeah, that booklet that completely matches with embodied language in everything I say. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. If you're open to studying it, go ahead. I highly recommend. But since most people are not open, I have been open to it, and yeah, I believe I had a brief conversation with this man once, but there's no ongoing connection there, and sadly, because I believe that openness is a scientific attitude, isn't it? Yeah, and the lack of openness is just basically unscientific. Do you hear me? Yeah, do you hear me, scientists? Anyone who I've been trying to reach, anyone who considered themselves to be a scientist, if you're not open to me, you're unscientific, period. You should just agree with that. But you don't, because you're sitting on your high horse of whatever fame you have or whatever importance you have, and you believe that you know more than me. And that's why you don't want to know. That's why you're not open to me. Okay, well, go ahead. You're not open about human behavior as long as you're not open about language. And it's a dichotomy. It's a conflict, a total big conflict that has not been addressed. Anyway, I do it. I continue with it. And so here I am at the end of my walk this morning. Thank you for coming with me. It's almost 51 minutes, this talk. I will continue till the edge of this little lake here, this horseshoe lake. And yeah, I'm walking backward. Wow, it's funny. I come to this wonderful water here, and suddenly there's this quietness, so beautiful. And even someone like me feels like, all right, you've said enough. You've said enough, dude. Yeah. Yeah. I'm open to not say anything anymore. What a great day.